back, everyone. Okay, so you're dating a guy and you're really into him, but there's one friend who you just cannot stand and it's causing problems for you and your man. How do you move past the drama and get on solid ground with a friend? It's important. We've asked Dr. Nina RIOS to help us out with this big conundrum. Yes. Dr. Nina.
Yes, well, it can be a big conundrum.
It's common with a lot of people, and I feel like I hear this with my single girlfriends all the time, like, oh my God, I really love this guy, but I don't want to hang out with his friends because they're so annoying. Like, it's just horrible. I mean, how do we get past this as women?
Well, I can remember I had an ex-boyfriend, well, he's an ex-boyfriend that had a friend that I didn't like very well at all. And I think when you want to talk about something sensitive with your boyfriend and talking about that you don't like his friend is sensitive, the timing has to be right. So you don't want to approach him when he just gets home from work or he's had a stressful day. You have to find the right time to approach any sensitive subject.
So
you have to be ready to receive
it when you're like laying in bed together?
Courtney, that is good timing.
That would be a good time. That would be a good time.
Great time.
He's very relaxed, probably.
But it is interesting,
just kidding, Mom.
Dr. Nina, because I will say this. You know, oftentimes, most of the time, your boyfriend has known this other individual years, perhaps, before he's known you. So you're kind of a newcomer on the scene, but you have this close relationship with him. So there's this, loyalty. So you said to talk to him, but what am I going to say? Like, I don't like your best friend?
Well, and that gets to the point. Once you have that sensitive time, you're talking to him, he's ready to receive it, then be honest, and you can be honest without being negative. And he's going to want to know specifics, probably. So you can't just say, you know what, I just really don't like your friend, because that's not going to really help the situation. So you want to have things that he's done or has said to you that have been hurtful to you. And your tone, how you talk to your significant other is really important. If you come across really aggressive, they're going to shut down. But if your tone is soft, that you really are showing that you care and you really want to make this relationship work with him and his friend, then it's how you deliver the message. It's really about that. And also taking responsibility. Have you done anything specific that may have caused kind of a rift?
Triggered it.
That triggered that relationship that's not going so well.
And the guy sometimes might not like you because he doesn't like that you're stealing his best friend. Sometimes it boils down to something that simple.
I think I see this in a totally different way. Yeah. Because I think that, if you're with somebody and you don't care for that person's friends, who they surround themselves with says a lot about them.
Right.
And I mean, haven't you found that the people that you kind of fall in love with, by and large, everything you love about them is sort of reflected in the friends that they have around them. So does it say something about the person you've chosen?
Well, it depends. If it's a lot of friends that you don't like, then that's, to me, a red flag. That's like, something's wrong with this person I'm getting involved with, because all of his friends are very negative, they're a bad influence on him. But if it's just one specific friend, that's a different situation.
Group, there's like one bad seed that they all kind of like roll their eyes at. And we just make excuses for him because he won't go away.
And so he could just say to you, oh, that's just how he is. Well, then you can say, well, I want to make our relationship right. I want to have a relationship with him. You have to be, like I said, be honest about it. Do you really want a relationship with him? Do you really want to make your relationship work with the person you're dating?
Do you really need a relationship with his friends? I mean, aside from just like all of you hanging out together.
Yeah, you don't necessarily, but if it's causing stress and every time he's around you're feeling stressed and irritated, then maybe it's good to talk to your significant other about it.
And it could be good, perhaps, to set or know before the conversation the expectation that you have. So, for example, if you know that you just cannot stand to be in a room with that individual, perhaps it's saying, I'm not asking you to not be friends with him, just perhaps you can go golf with him on a Saturday and I'm not part of that.
You don't necessarily, like my ex-boyfriend that had that friend I didn't like, I told him how I felt. I was real honest about it. He said, well, that's just kind of him. I didn't see him that much. It wasn't a big deal. It didn't affect our relationship, but at least I communicated that I struggled with the relationship with him. And I do want to say really quick on, as far as be prepared that the person maybe get defensive and be irritated, be angry and be frustrated. And that's something to look at. That's not a red flag in a relationship. If he's going to be irritated and angry when you're trying to deliver something in a nice, kind, thoughtful way, that to me is a red flag about kind of how you're going to handle conflict. So
I feel like women bring a lot of this upon themselves too. Like if we don't like a guy's friends and then he still continues to hang out with him, then we resent our boyfriend because he's hanging out with this guy that maybe we don't trust. And so it's like
choosing
maybe there's a trust issue with women that maybe that's more of a deep-rooted thing in our own sense of self. Like we're not confident enough in the relationship that we're jealous of their bromance.
Yeah, you're not trusting the person you're with.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of women don't want their guys to hang out with the other guys because then they think it's gonna cause a rift.
Well, I think especially if they're like a bad influence. If the guy's like, if the friend's like this philandering drunk, do you want your boyfriend?
Yeah, why would he want to hang out with his friend that's always drinking and partying at single clubs when he's with you.
There's like other deep-rooted.
Yeah, but I will say there is a marriage researcher, Dr. John Gottman, has done a lot of studies with couples, and when he watched them, he could predict with a 90% accuracy who would get divorced and who wouldn't by how they manage conflict. So really, look at this as an opportunity. How is he going to?
I'm like, what's that, doctor?
Yeah. Is there a website? Is there a test?
He's got tons of books about it, but he did studies, and it's really how you manage conflict. And so look at this as an opportunity. Any situation that's sensitive, how your significant other responds. Are they irritated? Are they do they stonewall you and shut down? All these things are kind of a negative situation, and you want to make it right. You want to learn to have dialogue over sensitive topics such as this one, because it really can make your relationship great or not.
Is it
not so
fair
much.
to give them an either or? I mean, is it fair to
like
say,
an ultimatum?
Yeah, I mean, if you really cannot get along, and it probably depends on the stage you are in your relationship. Are you engaged and planning on being with this person forever? I mean, what's the most healthy approach when you have that rift?
Yeah, I think it's really different for every situation. If he's really not a part of your life, if he's not causing problems in your life, then I think it's okay to just kind of, when he's around, you're able to just kind of work with him and
tolerate.
Tolerate. You're not going to be his best friend, but you're going to tolerate him. But it's just different. If he's really involved all the time and he's causing stress in your relationship, then there's got to be a choice. Who do you want to be with? Do you want to be with me, or do you want to spend more time with him? Because if he's choosing his friend over you, that again says where he sees the relationship.
And would it be worth talking to the friend directly, or it needs to kind of go through your middleman
I think
boyfriend?
so. That's when you have that dialogue. Say, I want this to work with your friend. He may say, let's work something out. And he may suggest, why don't you sit down and talk with him, and then just sit and be real honest. Again, communicating with your tone, how you talk about your feelings. Take some responsibility in that relationship. And if you deliver it right, and they most likely, hopefully, will respond well. If they don't, kind of an unhealthy.
Thank you so
always
much.
have such great tips.
Absolutely, Dr. Nina, I appreciate it, especially going into the holiday season. Just thank you so much for that. So you can get more from Dr. Nina by going to her website, and you can get there by going to thebroadcasttv.com. So exciting. Coming up, we've got a great look at some upcoming shows at the House of Blues, which I love, and your chance to win tickets to see Steve Vai live. So stick around.